Hello, everybody, and welcome to the 62nd edition of LM's Weekly Wrap, our weekly program to cover the market developments, whether it's international markets as well as the domestic markets. As far as the international markets are concerned, it was a kind of a very lazy week with the international markets preferring to be in a wait and watch mode with some element of underlying tensions, while the domestic markets continue to be in very great shape. To take us more on the market related developments, we have with us Jash. Jash, please welcome and kindly take us ahead on the markets.
Thank you so much, sir. It's great to be back. As sir rightly said, that the week was very lazy, but I'll be going ahead with the Nifty levels. As I had mentioned last week, that the Nifty was at a very important point of 19,200, where it reversed and went up, and I think the masses weren't convinced with the movement that was going to go upwards. They're expecting 19,000 or below 19,000 levels. As we had pointed out, that Nifty would maybe go up, and Nifty has come back to 1800 plus levels. That is a massive rally of about 500 to 600 points in the last 1 week. We see Indian markets have been very buoyant and resilient to whatever is happening in the foreign markets. Coming to that, I'll link it directly to the US markets over here. The dollar index has been going up. It has crossed about $103 or $104. And the crude oil prices has been inching up because of the fresh cuts imposed by Russia and Saudi. So that is taking the crude oil prices at $90 a barrel, which is concerning for India. But if we go to see in the last few months or the year, India has balanced their crude oil very well by buying cheaper crude from Russia and managing the subsidy levels, and those kind of tactics were very well played by the government, which is making it comfortable even though the crude has gone to $90 a barrel, which is clearly stated in our market levels today, that even though it is at 90, our market is still resilient, because I think we are comfortable over here. Maybe if the crude goes beyond $100, that is the time where India will start to get worried.
Feel the heat.
Yeah, that is the time we'll feel the heat. But otherwise, I don't think India is in a position to have a problem over there. Coming back to India, we have a major event in the next 3 to 4 days. That is the G20 summit. President Biden is going to arrive soon. Rishi Sunak, the Prime Minister of UK, has arrived in India. So we are seeing a lot of activity happening in and around Delhi. That is going to show the ties with the foreign countries in the future. How India is going to maintain their ties and relationship with the foreign, or rather, I would say how the foreign countries is going to maintain their ties with India. Because India has become the top of the world, and we are seeing the growth over here. FIIs have been pumping money, even though the activity is low, but still there is certain kind of activity. Also, other part is the metal prices. The metal index has been going up. We are seeing some kind of rally in the metal side. The stock prices related to metal in India has also been rallying to a great extent in the last 1 to 2 weeks. For more light on the sectoral outlook, I would hand over to Nirav for this. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Jash. So, as rightly pointed out, the metal index has been on a tear. But of course, we, as usual, will start off with some of the prominent developments which took place at the beginning of this week. One important factor which was highlighted at the beginning of the week, a couple of factors I would say, is we had the automobile data, the FADA data, where there was a mention regarding the fact that the PV inventory levels, that is the passenger vehicle inventory levels, are at a record highs. The inventory levels are at about 2 months levels, and this kind of inventory is generally seen during the festival season, but the rapid build up of the inventory prior to the festival season definitely warrants some kind of caution. Apart from this, we've seen very good momentum in three-wheeler sales. And as far as two-wheelers are concerned, the discount expectations of the buyers is on the higher side, and there might be small speed breakers ahead as far as two-wheelers are concerned. Apart from this, we had data that August month was one of the driest months in the last 122 years. So I think this is something which caught the attention of the market, and we saw data from coming in from IEX, India Energy Exchange. We saw data coming in from Coal India Limited, etc. All these things are pointing out to one important factor, that the demand for power is likely to go up still further in the next couple of months. We all know that October heat is quite treacherous, and I think this kind of heat we have been seeing in August. So August, September, and October, I think we are likely to see very strong demand for power in these months. So I think the stars of this week, in a very unexpected way, is the PSU pack. I think the last week we saw the BSE metal index up about 6%, and this week also we've seen some good follow-up buying in the metal stocks, but it's been the PSUs which have been the winners all the way. I think we were from LM side, we have recommended in our weekender stock idea Coal India Limited, and this was recommended at a level of 234. And I think in a very pleasant way, this week we saw Coal India Limited rally by around 23%, and we've seen the stock close at 280 plus levels today. So it's been a very dream run as far as Coal India Limited is concerned. And this kind of run is incidentally in one particular week, this has been the strongest run ever since the time the stock got listed. So in a way, I think very positive. Apart from this, I think amongst the top 10 nifty gainers of this week, we had Coal India Limited, we had GAIL, and we had NTPC. All these stocks were the big winners of this particular week, pulling their respective index also, because I think NTPC is an important component of the power index. GAIL is a very important component of the oil and gas index. So we are seeing that all these stocks have pulled all their respective indexes to higher levels. So we've seen some very good momentum in the market to make things better for this entire thing. We have REC and PFC, Rural Electrification Corporation, and Power Finance Corporation, which have also rallied massively in trade. And not to mention yesterday's development where we saw defense stocks rally in trade. So I think we've seen shipbuilding stocks rally in anticipation of the news that some important agreements were going to be signed with the US for naval ship repair facilities being accorded to India. So we've seen Mazgaon Docks move up in trade, Cochin Shipyard, Garden Reach Shipbuilding and Engineers. All these stocks have rallied very well in trade. So I think it's been a dream run as far as the defense stocks are concerned, and it's been a dream run as far as the railways are concerned, because in railways also we've seen RVNL, IRFC or RITES, and all the similar stocks which are listed. Even today, I think IRCTC, after a long gap, we've seen IRCTC also beginning to rally in trade. So I think it's been a kind of a very strong run in the markets. We've seen all these PSU stocks at some point in time which were neglected by the market, but I think they've come up in a very strong way, and they've come back with a bang. And I think now at this point of time we'll just cover up some other sectors also, because PSUs have been the clear winners of this week. Auto, as I said, FADA has recommended some caution with respect to the auto ancillaries also warrant some caution. Banking, in the banking pack, I think we are beginning to see some positive news flows also, incremental CRR being done away with in a phased manner. And I think PSU banks are likely to make a comeback in the markets on account of severe under ownership also, and on account of the fact that the performance has been improving. Capital goods continues to do well. I think L&T, which was a big gainer of this week, on expectations of getting close to $3 billion order from Saudi Arabia. So I think it's almost a done because it's a preferred bidder for this particular contract. So L&T doing very well in trade in this particular week. In metals pack, we've seen Tata Steel being amongst the big gainers during the week. FMCG continues to be quiet. Pharma, we are seeing selectively some good movement. And in IT, I think it's showing signs of waking up or making a comeback. We've seen positive developments from HCL Technologies, Tech Mahindra, and Wipro, which were amongst the big gainers in this particular week. We've seen some good contract wins also happening recently as far as TCS and Infosys are concerned. But very early days here before we can say that there's a turnaround in the fortunes of the IT sector. So I think overall the market continues to be in good health. We often get queries that we generally tend to discuss a lot on the sectors, but stock specific momentum. So I think as far as the stock specific momentum is concerned, you can definitely refer to our weekender stock ideas, and most of our weekender stock ideas have done exceptionally well in trade. As we talk today, we have Dollar Industries, which has achieved its target price. Slow systematic manner in which our stock ideas have been performing and delivering their respective targets. More recently, we have been focusing on the power sector. So some of our preferred picks have been Satluj Jal Vidyut Nigam Limited. We have recommended Coal India Limited, as I earlier also pointed out, and we have recommended IEX, India Energy Exchange. On the contrarian side, I think there are certain stock ideas which can be considered by investors. One is BHEL, Bharat Heavy Electricals Limited. BHEL is on the comeback trail, and the stock trades at close to 140 from 145 levels. And there are big opportunities apart from the conventional areas where BHEL is very very strong. It's trying to make massive strides in railways, trying to take advantage of the railways expansion modernization programs which are going on, coal gasification and green hydrogen. So they're trying to make a splash in all these emerging areas, which could be big opportunities as far as BHEL is concerned. Second story which is looking attractive is Sri Renuka Sugars Limited, which is it has got sugar capacities, it has got sugar refineries, and one of the largest capacities of ethanol in the country. So I think this could be this year could be a turning point as far as Sri Renuka Sugars is concerned. And the third is IRB Infrastructure Developers Limited, which is likely to take advantage of the restructuring in the operations, where a lot of assets have been transferred to InvITs, and the company is going to focus on EPC as well as O&M contracts. Lots of things to discuss, but I think time constraints permit us no further.